Hello, welcome to Pilates Matwork. And today we are going to be building up to some side plank, and plank work will also be building up to teasers. So technically you don't need any props today. However, if you like or need that little bit of lumbar support for when we are doing roll ups, roll downs, the teasers, or even anything, like the 100, series of 5 exercises, those kinds of things. You can always have that little padding. Hand towels work well. This is kind of like the contact matting for a cabinet that I had folded up and used for myself. You can use that. The band, I'm going to use the band to stretch with when we get to hamstrings and whatnot. You don't have to have one. You can still get a good stretch out. I've just got mine today. And that should be all that you need, unless you need knee cushion for something. We're not going to be on our knees very much, hardly at all, but you can always bring in a folded blanket as needed. So we're going to start standing. And I'm just going to turn sideways. So you want to kind of come into a nice posture and do a posture check. So your hip bones, the front of the hips here, where the bone is, not about how wide you are, but where the bone is. You want that bone, your knees, and your ankles to be in a relative alignment. So we're going to kind of all pointing forward. And maybe the big toes are in alignment with each other. So one foot's not back, one foot's forward. Good. And see from here if you can zip up a nice inner line of engagement. So if you need a couple visuals to help, think about a corset belt that kind of wraps around and holds everything up and in. If you've got your favorite jeans out of the dryer and they're a little tight, maybe you have to kind of zip everything up and in a little bit so they can zip and button comfortably. Kind of find that sensation. And then you also want your ears and shoulders to kind of be in that alignment as well. So watch your knees. We don't want to be locked. We want to be soft. And that'll help your pelvis come into a more of a neutral position. Good. Now from here, come into a little bit of breathing. So you can hold on to your low rib cage here if you'd like, or not hold on to, but just place your hands there. So with that nice engagement, as you inhale through the nose, can you find some rib cage expansion? And then slowly exhaling. And inhale. And exhale. And try to really purse the lips. It engages the abs just a little bit more on that breath. Good. Now, I can't talk and do that at the same time. It's going to be on you to keep coming back to that breath periodically. So from here, hands can be to the hips, they can be to the sides, they can be up wherever you're comfortable. I'm just going to go into some knee bends. And I want my hips, knees, and toes to track in this alignment. So I don't want the knees to fall in. I don't want them to fall out. And I'm really pressing through the feet and the legs as I come down. And so because we're just doing a knee bend, your back should be relatively long here and not, collapse through. So use that center line of engagement. Use your core muscles to help. Heels are staying on the ground, so you're feeling that nice stretch down the back of the calf muscle. And then from here, once you're ready, good. Let's take that a little bit differently. Take your feet just a little bit wider. Good. Find a squat, shift the weight, and lift. Foot down, squat, shift, and lift. Good. So slower can be better if balance is a challenge. You could move a little bit quicker here, kind of at my pace, but I wouldn't go too much faster. When we go too fast, we tend to lose form. Belly button is in. Good. And then from here, one more squat center and coming back up and just march this out. We'll go into a little bit of footwork here. So I'm going to come to a V position. So hips, knees, and toes are turning out. My heels are connected. If yours can't connect, do the best you can do. I've got about a fist width apart between my two big toes. I'm zipped up. Hands, arms can be anywhere you need. And I'm just going to lift up and lower. And lift and lower. And you might notice some engagement right on the gluteal folds area, right on the outside. That's great if you can feel it. My heels did not always stay together when I used to do this. That's taken a lot of practice. So if you're not quite there, we do what we can. And then the next time we practice is a different day. Good. Now from here, I'm going to show this from the side view, but I'm going to go ahead and start. This is my right side. And then I'm going to lift and switch. Good. And I want that heel to come all the way down before I go to the other side. Trying to press evenly into big toe and pinky toe mounds. You can also hold on to a wall or a piece of furniture. This is a little bit of a balance challenge. Good. And then let's stretch the front of the foot that doesn't often get a stretch. So for this one, I am going to kind of hold on to my wall a little bit here. So my right leg, I'm just going to take it back. Good. And that might be enough. Some people kind of like to bend into it a little bit, but you should feel a stretch. It should not be painful. Maybe a little bit awkward, but not painfully awkward. And sometimes I even feel this one all the way up into my shin. Good. And then from here, we'll switch. I'm going to take it to the other side. So now my left side, taking that back. Good. And this is usually a little intense for a lot of people because we often don't really do this. But it's a good one to do. And then once you're ready, good. We'll come back center. Let's get a couple side bends, and then we're going to start to work to the floor. Big arms up overhead. Feet and legs can be together if you're a little bit more advanced or good in your balance. Otherwise, feet can be hip width apart here. So find it where you need to find it. I'm going to take my hands. Actually, let's take the left hand to the right wrist. Lift up and side bend over. Now notice how I didn't shift my hips here. I kept them center. I'm using that center line of engagement to support me here. And be mindful of a forward collapse of that shoulder. Could you open that up? Breathing and expanding. And then we'll come up and we'll switch sides. Right hand to the left wrist, lifting up, side bending over other side. Breathing. And once you're ready, good, we'll come back up and we will release. As we start to come to the edge of our mat, to start with some Pilates push-ups, roll those shoulders around, roll them in one direction. Good. Now take them in that other direction and really exaggerate the move, really get in there. Just loosening them up a little bit. Good. Now, from here, for the roll down, different things for different people. It's easier if you're parallel hip width apart. It's harder if you're closer together or zip together. It's going to be hardest if you're at the V. I am going to demo rolling down bone by bone. If you've got osteoporosis or something where flexion is not good for you, you're going to keep a flat back as you come down. You're just going to bend your knees, take your hands to the floor, walk out to the plank, and then you'll do the same thing, keeping that nice long back as you come up. So from here, if you're following me, center line of engagement, I'm going to nod my chin. I'm envisioning I'm peeling off bone by bone from an imaginary wall. And as I do that, my arms are just going to start to dangle and they're just going to do what they do. And I'm trying not to hinge my hips back. So I really want to get into the core. It's better to bend the knees than to hinge the hips back. And then from here, once you're ready, with bent knees, however you need to get there, walk it out. Knees can be lifted or grounded. Find some nice length in the torso. Elbows turn forward, halfway down and push. Walk it back. Knees can bend as you walk it back. Stop the hips over the ankle. And then I'm going to come all the way back up. And we'll take that again. Big inhale. Exhale, nodding the chin. Rolling that down. Getting there in the way that's best for your body to get there. Good. And we'll take that out. Good. Find your plank position. Knees can be lifted or grounded. Good. Halfway down. Push up. Walk it back. Hips stop over the ankles. Round, round, round. As you walk that back up, let's take the arms up here for this last one. Open up into just a little bit of a back bend. And then taking that down. And we're going to come back out to that Pilates push-up, and then we're going to stay down. So from here, when we're ready, nodding our chin, rolling that down. Good. Finding that center line, keeping that center line of engagement. Good. Walking it out through the plank, knees lifted or grounded. Find your length. Halfway push up, lift up, and knees come down. You need to kind of sway a little bit if you need to come back. Get what makes your body feel good. If it needs to kind of wiggle for a moment before you do something, always allow it to do what it needs. So this can also be done on the forearms here for cat-cow. So be mindful if extension is good for you or not. And same thing for flexion. Go to the range that your body needs you to go to. Big inhale. Good. Finding cow. Exhale, rounding. Finding cat, keeping that center line of engagement as best as you can. So anytime we're moving through the center line of engagement in Pilates, it should be nearly everything. You want to make sure that you can still move and breathe comfortably. So if you're so engaged, you can't breathe comfortably, you can't move with ease, then our engagement is too rigid, too much, and we need to kind of back off of that for a moment. Good. Now from here, coming back to nice flat back, let's take this into a thread the needle. So starting on my left side, left arm comes up. I'm just going to scoop on this first one, so not all the way down, and then pressing through that right hand and shoulder coming up. And then let's take this all the way through. So as I come down, I want my hips to be over the knees. I do not want my left ear to touch the floor. I'm supporting myself here with my right hand and shoulder. So the top corner of that head barely touches, if at all. And I think about a piece of paper under there that you don't want to crinkle or make a noise. If your ear is on the mat in front of you, you are making noise with that paper. And then from here, using the center line, pressing through that right hand and shoulder, coming back up. Okay, and we'll take that to the other side. So the right arm's going to come up. Good. We'll take a little scoop for this first one, coming all the way up, taking it all the way through, reaching. Good. Hips over knees. Ear doesn't touch the floor. Use your left hand and shoulder to help support you here. And notice when you use your hand and shoulder, you get a deeper rotation here. It's a little bit more of effective thread the needle than if you're just collapsed here. Good. So pressing through, and we'll come up. Good. Get any little movement here that feels good to you. And once you're ready, we will come onto our backs. So as you come to the backs, I'm going to encourage you, if you can, to do a little bit of a roll down. So speaking of which, I'm going to have my little pad close by me. And then from here, holding onto the back of my legs, I'm going to scoop. Keep a flat back if you need to do that. Good. Find that point of control. Then could you then reach and then continue to roll back down. Good. Okay. The knees can come back into a bend. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle once you get down here. Let's go into some deep transverse abdominis work. This is also work that helps with that center line of engagement. So we're going to go into a few rounds of pelvic tilting, and then we'll go into some pelvic clock work. So wiggle around, move clothes around as needed. Zip up, find that center line of engagement. You should feel it right below the navel. And then noticing where your tailbone and the rib cage connect with the mat. You may or may not have some space in the small part of the back, but nice and zip up. I'm going to rock my pubic bone back towards my face. So I'm closing the space. It's a light touch. And then I'm going to rock that pelvis forward, the small light arch. Good. So using the abdominals and the pelvic muscles to do this as much as possible. Try not to use the glutes or pressing into your feet. Good. And then from here, come back to your starting point, your safe neutral, your in between. And we're going to take that around into a clock, if you will. But I'm going to cue it up, down, and left and right. Okay. And I want you to envision this being kind of, to the naked eye, would be just a gentle movement, kind of like this. If you're like this, you're out of control and you need to really engage those abdominals. So zip up nice and tall. Good. So from here, I'm going to take the pubic bone towards my face. There's your posterior tilt. That should be up. And then exhale, rocking it forward, maybe a slight arch, the extension, the anterior tilt, that's down. And take it back up. And here we go. Take it to the left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. One more time. Left, down, right, up. And then from here to the right, down, left, up, to the right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up. One knee at a time, bring it into the chest, and we'll rock, rock, rock here. And we're going to do another little core engagement exercise here. So while we're here, just go ahead and take the knees into a tabletop position. Knees over hips, hips parallel to the floor. Good. Find that center line of engagement. Let the center line be what's in charge, and it will let you know how far you need to take this leg out to the side or forward. Okay. So I'm going to take my right leg out to the right. It's a slow and controlled movement. I'm using that center line to bring it back in the center. Now I'm going to reach that right leg long and strong. And center line is going to bring that back into tabletop. Left side goes to the left. Using the center line for control. Coming back up. Left leg reaches. Left knee comes back in. Right leg out to the side. Back up. Both hips are grounded at all times. Right leg reaches long. And comes back in. Left leg goes to the side. Bringing it back up. We'll take it long. And bring it back up. Last time through. Right leg goes out. Center line brings it back. Reach it long. Bring it back in. Left leg goes out. Up. Reaches long. And comes back in. Bring your knees into the chest. Rock, rock, rock. All right. Let's take this right into the hundreds. Right into the hundreds. So you can keep feet grounded, tabletop, or once you get out there, you can be legs together parallel, or the Pilates V for more core engagement. Inhale, arms lift, find that center line. Exhale, reach it up. Good. Start pumping those arms. And we inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift up higher. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, reach deeper. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hold. Lift the chest higher, reach deeper through the arm. Woo. And bring that down. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side. Gently take head and neck from side to side. All right. From here, once you're ready, I'm just going to take my feet back down for a moment. And I'm going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're going to prepare for roll-ups and roll-downs. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my little lumbar support. And I'm just going to lift my hips. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick it under there. Good. Now, if you like to start with the roll down first, roll over to your side, come up to a seat and do that. I'm going to start with a roll up first today. Make sure this is good. Okay. So knees can be bent or legs can be long. Arms are right over the shoulders. Find your center line. Inhale, exhale, nod the chin. Good. Rolling that up, reaching for the feet. We're rolling up through center. You can stay upright or you can come forward if you would like. Good. And then I'm just going to keep that C curve scoop as I go right into the next one. Inhale, exhale. Good. And I'm going to keep that as I go right into number 3. Inhale. Good. And coming forward. Good. Now, you can continue to do this roll up and roll over if you would like. Roll up and roll down if you would like. Those of you that are going to follow me, we're going to take this into a roll over, also known as a plow pose. So from here, when you're ready, good. Careful not to roll back on the neck. Legs are going to open, toes point down, shoulder width apart. Good. And then you're going to roll out of here with control. Good. And coming forward. And I'm going to go right into the next one. Good. Opening, lowering. Good. And then I'm going to go into the last one. And this one I'm going to stay down for. So I'm going to really reach, really engage as I slowly bring those legs down. Good. Bending the knees, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side. I'm going to remove my pad here for a moment. Go ahead and grab your strap or whatever it is you're using for hamstring stretches. If you're not using one, then what you're going to do is you're going to grab behind your right leg and you're just going to travel up with your hands as high as you can go with the upper body grounded. So your left knee can be bent. It can be extended long. Your back will be in charge of that. Good. Find that nice center line connection once more. Little micro bend in that knee. Good. And we're gently going to bring this in. Good. Now, the nice thing about a stretchy band is I can find different ways to engage here. Breathing. Remember, this whole series, we want that center line of engagement connected to protect the SI joints of the low back. And we also don't want any pain, numbness, tingling, or burning. Those sensations could be signs of a compressed nerve somewhere. So we don't want to stay in those places. And then we'll gently release. Good. From here, both pieces of the band into the right hand. Good. Find the center line of engagement. Center line is going to be in charge as you take your right leg over to the right and kind of wiggle around here. Good. And then using that center line of engagement, slowly bring that leg back in. And then switch places. We'll arc that over. Maybe wiggle around here. This is one of my favorite stretches. It gets so well on the outside of the thigh and the hip here. Also makes what we're getting ready to do next a little bit better. And then from here, good, we'll come back up. So from here, and I've got my stretchy band, so I'm just going to pull straight down. You may not have that, and that's okay. The band just adds a little bit more of resistance. But from here, we're going to do 4 tiny circles and 4 large circles. And for these, I should probably scoot out a little bit. Okay. So from here, center line of engagement. You can have a micro bend in that knee if you need to. There you go. Tiny circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, reversing 4, 3, 2, and 1. Using the center line for control, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to reverse 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And we will just do a midair switcheroo here with the feet. We're going to take that all onto the left side. So your right knee can be bent or extended long. Your back's in charge there. Find the grip that's appropriate for you, a strap, a band, your leg. Keep a micro bend in that knee. Good. We've got that center line of engagement. We're going to come back. My tighter side. Breathing. So this stretch series that we're doing here, I say this all the time, but it does bear repeating. It's one of the stretches that is really good for tight hips and tight low back. And you can do them in the morning before you get out of bed. You can do them at night before you go to sleep. They are wonderful. Stretching is something we don't want to lose or stop doing as we age. We're going to back off of that a little bit. Get both pieces of the strap if you've got that, or the outside of the leg. Center line engagement. Let that center line let you know where you should go and stop. Good. So you might find that the more you engage the center line and follow that, you may not be able to take the leg as far out to the side, but you can still get a good stretch if you tug that leg then towards that shoulder. And breathing. And once you're ready, using that center line of engagement, slowly bring that leg back in. Good. We're going to switch hands. Good. We'll do an arc over. And using that center line to come back up. Good. Now, from here, good. We're going to do the small circles and then the larger circle. So 4 times, nice and small. Find that center line of engagement. This is sneaky core work, whether you're using a band or not. So from here, we'll go 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll take that into larger circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and reverse 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then from here, once you're ready, just remove that band, or if you use anything here. Now, again, I often, use this for different things. As long as flexion is okay with you, you can also use this when you're doing things like rolling like a ball. if you need that extra support in the low back. So just know that, this can have many different uses for different people. So speaking of rolling like a ball, I'm going to do that a few times. If that's not for you, roll over to your side, come to a seat and practice a boat. I'm going to come up here and we'll do this 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and coming all the way up. Great job. From here, roll that back down, and we're going to take this into single leg stretch. Single leg stretch. So knees are going to start to tabletop position. Find that center line of engagement. Good. This can be done in a C curve or grounded, depending on what your needs are. I'm going to practice C curve today. Right knee's going to come in. Left leg's going to reach long, and then I'm going to switch. And here's 2, 3, 4. Hips don't rock. 5. There's no rotation in single leg stretch. 6, 7. Eyes are to the thighs. 8, 9, and 10. And bringing that in, going right into double leg stretch. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and take that down. Whew. Rock, 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 side to side. I'm gonna cue a roll up variation here to transition, but you can always roll like a ball or roll over to your side. But from here, once you're ready, inhale, exhale, round the chin. Ooh, it's getting a little bit harder because I'm getting a little bit more tired. Good, and coming back up. Okay, so putting that to the side. Let's take this into Soul Series. So sitting up nice and tall. If you're not practicing on the mat, take the feet and the legs a little bit wider than hip width apart. You can also sit up on something if you're tighter in the hip. But from here, big inhale, exhale. I'm just gonna get a nice side bend. Reaching, both hips are grounded. I'm just going to where my limit is. And then using center line to come up and taking that to the other side. And that feels really good. And let's do that again. Taking that over. And coming up. Good. So I like to kind of envision when I do this, the low rib cage and the top of the hip, we're trying to touch and squeeze each other. Good. And then coming back up. Good. I'm going to take my hands behind the head today. Good. Let's do the twist with pulses. So zipping up nice and tight. We are in that nice center line of engagement. Shoulders are relaxed. Good. We're going to pulse twist to the right. Pulse, pulse, center, pulse, pulse, center, pulse, pulse, center, pulse, pulse, center. One more time through. Pulse, pulse, center, pulse, pulse, center. Spine stretch forward. Big inhale, exhale. Envision it as a seated version of the standing version that we did in the beginning. You're peeling off that imaginary wall. Keep a flat back if you need to. Good. And then rounding as we come up. Good. 3 more times, and here we go. Good. Moving from that center line of engagement. Try to move from the center, not from the head. And rounding. And coming back up. 2 more times. And up. And 1 more time. Starting to feel heat now when you do some of these really slow. Sometimes they're a little bit more intense versus trying to rush through something. I can work up a sweat both ways. Good. And shake that out if you need to. Let's put all of those things together and take it into thaw. Arms out to the side. Rotate. Round. Reaching. Pinky finger, pinky toe. Sitting up nice and tall. Rotate. Reach and round. Both hips stay grounded. And coming back up. And rotate. And reach and round. and back to center, and rotate, and reach and round, and coming back to center. I'm going to give a couple options for this next one. If you're done, rolling like a ball, that sort of stuff, take your legs wider and get a nice adductor stretch here. If you're ready to keep going with that, maybe not necessarily rock, but you want the core work, the core connection, then come back onto your hip bones. Good. And then maybe grabbing the feet or the legs and just kind of find your nice little open rocker balance. And then those of you that want to follow me through open rocker, we'll do that 4 times. So rolling back, we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now hold it up there, reach, reach, reach. Lift that chest, lengthen that back. And once you're ready, good. I'm going to cross the ankles. I'm going to come forward into prone, which just means belly down. So once you come down here, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle those hips. We're going to take this into swan series. We're going to do the full swan series. So we'll do swan, swan dive, and swan rocker. You stop where it's no longer good for your body to be. But I'm going to take my hands a little forward into the side of the shoulders. Good. Rolling the shoulders back. Legs are about hip width apart here. And I'm really zipping up that center line. On an inhale, maybe find a baby swan, a medium or a high swan. Take it where you can take it. And then slowly lower that down bone by bone. Inhale. Exhale. Here's number 2. And coming down. Good. Let's take it 3. And lowering. And 4. Inhale on the lift. Exhale on the lower. Good. Now, if you're unable to do a high swan, go back and keep practicing your swan. Those of you that are going to take this into swan dive, come to your high swan. Really engage and zip up. Swan dive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Swan rocker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! Take that down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. I'm going to get a quad stretch while I'm down here. So I'm going to bend my right knee, reaching back, grabbing that foot. Different things for different people. Just holding on to the foot here might be enough for you. You might want to lengthen from the hip to the knee. That might be enough for you. Or squeeze the right glute, take the right foot up towards the ceiling, rolling the right shoulder back. That might be where you need to be. And then once you're ready, we will release. Good. We'll take that to the other side. Bending that left knee, reaching back and grabbing it, and then taking this one where you need to take it. Holding it, reaching, maybe squeezing the left glute, taking the left foot up towards the ceiling, and taking that down. Good. I'm going to get a little water break. Good. Take this onto the back. So as we come onto the back, we're going to come to single straight leg stretch, double straight leg stretch, and the crisscross from here. So if you need that little lumbar stability, you can always put that little mat under the lumbar for support. His legs are going to come up towards the ceiling. Good. Single straight leg stretch. We're going to do this one 8 times, 8 times. So from here, I'm going to come up. Good. I'm going to pull and switch. And 2, 3, 4, 5. Be in control of the legs. Don't let them be in control of you. 6, 7, and 8. Good. Double straight leg stretch, parallel legs, Pilates feet, upper body grounded or lifted into the C curve. Inhale on the lower, exhale on the lift. Be careful that you don't want the pelvis to rock forward and back. 2, 3, and 4. Good. From here, I'm going to lower down, bend the knee, hands behind the head, going into crisscross. Lead with the shoulder and up the elbow. Elbows are going to stay wide. Hips stay grounded. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And take that down. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side. Okay, from here, we are going to cross the ankles. I'm going to hold the feet. I'm going to roll like a ball coming back up here. Good. And coming back forward. We're going to take this into a plank. So this plank can be done 2 ways. You can do this one down on the forearm, or you can do this one up high. I'm going to take this one on the forearms. Shoulders are going to be over or behind the elbows, or over or behind the wrist. You kind of choose where you need to do there. Good. Knees can be grounded, whatever you're choosing, or lifted. I'm going to be lifted. Find that core connection. Find that length. Breathing. Good. Now try not to let the pelvis rock side to side. We're going to lift the legs. Left leg. Pull, pull, lower, right. Pull, pull, lower, left. Pull, pull, lower, right. Pulse, pulse, lower, left. Pulse, pulse, lower, right. Pulse, pulse, lower, left. Pulse, pulse, lower, right. Pulse, pulse, lower. Drop the knees. Woo. Held pose. Let's take this into a side plank. A side plank. So you can do this on the forearm if you would like. I'm going to do my side planks up high. So from here, good. I'm just going to start actually from here. We'll do this one in stages. So I'm facing you. This is my left leg. This is my right leg. I'm going to take this here. You can be here. You know, this can be a side plank if this is what you need it. Good. I'm going to take my right leg behind my left. I'm making sure that my chest and hips both are facing the side. And then maybe then you can stack. Now, this may or may not work very well if you're on the forearm, but if you want to, you can dip a little bit and squeeze and lift. And dip and squeeze. Dip and squeeze. One more time. And dip and squeeze. Good. Come back down. Woo. Find a little child's pose. So we're going to stay on that same side. So for me, I balance on my right hand. So I'm going to side lie on my right side. You can be up here. If you're going to be up here, please don't do this. Be strong and lifted. You can also be here. I'm going to be down here. You can also be here. So find where you need to be. Good. If your legs are long and stacked and parallel, that's going to be the hardest. It's a little bit easier if they're in kind of a 45-ish degree angle. Easy still, bend that bottom knee. So from here, hips and shoulders are all going to face forward no matter where you're at. They're going to stay in that alignment. Zipping up, and here we go. From here, I'm going to sweep, lift, circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's reverse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. From here, turn from the hip. Hip, knee, and toe, we're going to turn down. Good. We're going to bend, drive through hip and heel, and kick up. And bend. And stretch. And 3. And press. And 4. And press. And 5. And press. And 6. And press. Great job. From here, we're going to come back to the side plank. We're going to take that to the other side. So I'm just going to come up and come over here. So again, set up your side plank for success in the way that you need to get there. And this can also be done on forearms as well. So be mindful. So this might be it. Okay. Oops. You might be here. So it's going to be the left leg behind the right, or you can find the stack. Hips and chest are facing in the same direction. Good. And then you can stay or you can dip and lift 1, 2, ooh, 3, use those abs, and 4. And then carefully take that down. Good. Child's pose if you need one. We're going to do sideline on this side now. So try to do this one the same way that you did it on the other side. So I'm going to come back to my parallel stack here. Good. Belly button is in. And then from here, good, I'm going to lift up. I'm going to circle 1, 2, 3, using those abs, that center line of engagement. 4, 5, and 6. And reverse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So from here, from the hip, everything turns inward and driving through hip and heel. We'll press 6 and down, and 5 and down, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. All right. We're going to go into teasers here, teasers. So if you have not mastered the roll up and the roll down, teaser is going to be very hard for you. So you can try it. I'm not going to stop you from at least trying it. But if you know that you're not going to be able to lift your legs up, then go back and practice your roll ups and roll downs. Otherwise, I'm going to take my padding here. Yeah. So this first teaser that we're going to do is when you come up, you want your knees to bend. You want your knees to bend as you come up. So from here, big inhale, exhale, we're bending, good. And then we're lowering that back down. Good, and you can even do an arm sweep in a circle. Now, I don't have room here today because I'm too close to my wall, but you could do that as you come up if you want to. Big inhale, exhale, and taking that down. Now, that's a little bit easier than the one we're getting ready to do with where legs are long as you lift up. So if this was enough of a challenge, come back and work on that one. Otherwise, here we go. Inhale, exhale. Woo. Get it up there. Good. And then we'll take that back down. Inhale, exhale. That was much better the second time. Let's do one more because these are fun. Yes, they are. It's a triumph when you can get one. Inhale, exhale. Good. And take it up. Good. Now, could you hold this position? Knees bent or legs long. Kind of turn it into a boat. Could you let go? Woo. Try not to let that back collapse. And take that down. Take the legs forward, long back or round back. All right. Last hard thing we're going to do is we're going to go to some push-ups. So if push-ups are not your jam, then you can always work on sternum drops, which can be done on hands or forearms. And you're just letting the chest lower and lift. Those of you that are going to follow me with push-ups, knees can be down or you can do it from the high plank position. That's going to be the hardest way to do it. I'm going to do knee down today, and I'm going to cue you through 4 to 10. And if maybe 1 or 2 is the best you can do today in your best form, and if that's the case, stop there. You never want to plow through just to get a number in bad form. So I'm turning everything kind of inward a little bit here, just so my elbows are easier to come out to the side. So from my plank position, good. From here, inhale, halfway down, exhale 10. Inhale, exhale 9. Inhale, exhale 8. Inhale, exhale 7. Inhale, exhale 6. Inhale, exhale 5. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 2. Last one, inhale, exhale 1. And take that back. Whew. child's pose. I've got a little glow on my face now. And then from here, once you're ready, good. We're just gonna do a basic little closing here. Sitting, however it's comfortable for you to sit. Take the arms out to the side, palms turning up. Let's turn them back. Just getting a little stretch there through that area that just really works. And then palms up, take the arms up, hands together, bend the elbow straight behind you. And coming up, we'll get a side bend towards the left, reaching, reaching, reaching. Coming up from here, from length, take a gentle twist towards the left. And back to center. Arms up, side bend towards the right, reaching. And then coming back up, nice and tall, find a gentle twist. And then gently come back to center. Way to go. You made it through this Pilates Matwork class. I hope it was a great challenge for some of you, if not all of you, in different ways. I hope to see you again really soon. Thank you so much for joining me.